Way back when Twitter was just a new microblogging site, I signed up and started tweeting. Eventually, I came across a guy posting as Darth Vader. He'd post some humorous Vader-esque post every so often, and I thought it was kind of cool. But it wasn't in any particular order. Sometimes it'd be something from episode 4, then episode 6, and then back to episode 4. I thought it was a neat idea, but I wanted to do something different. So I went with Star Trek. But I decided that I wasn't going to pretend to be someone important like Kirk or Spock. I'd be the guy who sent all those poor red shirts out to their doom. And unlike Darth Vader, I was going to do it in order. Stardate order. Lieutenant Aloysius T. Peabody reported on board the USS Enterprise just in time for the first Star Trek episode. I was so excited to start. Then I went to Memory Alpha and mapped out the episodes in Stardate order, and my heart kind of sank a little. The shows were not broadcast in Stardate order. There were episodes from Season 2 in the middle of Season 1, even episodes from the animated series. What was worse, there were several episodes that ended up overlapping. I had to start creating excuses for why the star dates weren't always correct. Then I noticed the real challenge I was going to have to face. Gaps. Okay, some weren't bad, but some were what I can only assume months long. Needless to say, I was going to have to be very creative in filling the gaps, especially considering that the show runs from stardate 1312 to 7403, supposedly 5 years. And I had to do all of this 140 characters at a time. I quit doing this particular story because I had branched off into the story of Lieutenant Peabody's youngest daughter. It's currently 463 pages long and has about 247,000 words. Why did I do this? Because I am someone who loves Star Trek. Someone who loves. That is the root meaning of the word amateur. I know that nowadays amateur is used to indicate someone who isn't good at someone else. But really, being someone who does something because they love it doesn't make someone who gets paid to do the same thing any better. Hollywood is the perfect example of that. I spent a lot of time researching online to make sure that what I wrote does not contradict the official record. I may stretch certain things, make assumptions not officially listed, but I don't contradict it. Have you seen anything on the new Rings of Power? The only thing of Tolkien in this production are the names. The real Galadriel was married to Celeborn. She was Elrond's mother-in-law. She was one of the few elves in Middle-earth who had seen the light of the two trees, and she was one of the most powerful beings in all Middle-earth, without ever having been a warrior princess like the Galadriel in the Amazon abortion. There's also a strange man with the Harfoots that will probably be Gandalf, even though he showed up with Saruman, Radagast, and the other two wizards after the Rings of Power had been made. Círdan the Shipwright gave him one of the 3 rings, saying that he would probably need it. In recent episodes, the bad guys created Mount Doom by releasing the water from a huge dam and funneling it into a dormant volcano, causing a humongous eruption that sent a massive pyroclastic flow towards the good guys. Now, in reality, a pyroclastic flow is a wall of fast-moving ash, flame, steam, and mud that destroys everything in its path. It's what completely obliterated Pompeii and Herculaneum from history for almost 2,000 years. In the Ring of Power, it merely covered everyone in Cheeto dust. Oh yeah, it made the one character blind. This is what professionals came up with. You want more? Try comparing Star Trek Continues with anything that has come out in the alternate timeline, also known as JJ Trek, after the guy who thought it up. Vic Mignogna led a crew of people in creating a faithful and true continuation of the original series, with sets meticulously crafted to match the originals, costumes that matched the originals, and stories that faithfully followed the canon. all with their own money and using their own time. They even managed to link up to original series episodes occasionally, much like The Wrath of Khan did. Meanwhile, the stuff done by professionals just used the names and places and stuck in stuff that specifically did not agree with the canon. The alternate timeline came into use as an excuse for it all. And somehow, all this professional stuff has left many fans deciding they're done with something they grew up loving. And it's not just the Rings of Power and JJ Trek. It's just about everything that comes out of Disney these days. No one in Hollywood seems to have a new idea, and they all seem to have been brainwashed by the same propaganda that they now push on all of us. There are literally thousands of Marvel comic books Disney could use as source material, but they'd rather create something new that includes the message in it, leaving us with TV shows no one watches and a Black Panther-less movie about to come out. You want to watch something good? Go watch the Star Trek Continues. And as far as fantasy goes, go watch some of Viva La Dirt League's videos, then watch Balin's Route. This short half-hour video is better than anything Hollywood has come up with in years. You'll certainly find it more entertaining than this unpleasant opinion.